Hey guys, Psycrafter here, and today I am back in the Anime versus Reality podcast to continue down the path of plastic memories. The anime that I started on last week. Double checking if there's any birthdays coming up. I could have done this in the 5 minutes. I just realized. Anyways, let's get into today's episode of the podcast, where we're going to be covering episodes 5, 6, 7, 5 through to 9. Where at the end of episode 4, we left off with Giftia Marcia being kidnapped by a black market retriever. And episode 5, we get to see what happened to her in this situation. Where, on her way back home, Marcia is attacked by the black market retriever with a taser and kidnapped. Sota calls Tsukasa to tell him about the situation and how he was tricked by said black market retriever. Rather inconveniently, Marcia only has 24 hours left on her lifespan, and Tsukasa and Isla end up having to explain to Sota the situation, but Tsukasa promises they'll bring her back. Never keep promises you can't keep. So, having to loop everyone in on the situation, Ren wonders if Marcia will be the first Wanderer in 3 years, but Kazuki tells him to not think about it. Yamanobe reports the situation to his boss, who tells him to keep up the search and tells his assistant to summon TRScientist Inc. Isla and Fisher search a shopping mall and surrounding area with no luck whatsoever, and Isla says they should search the area again. Questioning Isla about Wanderers, she says they are a rare case, so they shouldn't be pessimistic yet. However, the entire day passes with no signs of Marcia, even with everyone searching every possible location they can think of. All while Sota sits at home, waiting for her to return. Night turns into morning, with only 7 hours left on the clock to find Marcia, and Kazuki gives Tsukasa some breakfast on the way to a lead of a black market hideout. However, the four of them are cut off from entering the area by the lead of security, and Kazuki gets upset at them because they have business there. It's like, we're gonna retrieve this Giftia before it turns into a Wanderer. The moment it turns into a Wanderer, it's your job. So technically, it's still our job. Kazuki gets a surprise reunion after 3 years with Shinonome, who explains they are just there to get the black market retrievers and not even caring about Marcia, so it's not even their job. Thanks to Shinonome being the leader of the team TRScientist sent out, Kazuki learns about the rough location of the black market hideout. And Shinonome asks if Marcia has a transmitter, but because of the Android Protection Laws, or APL, Giftias do not have transmitters since it's a violation of human rights. Which, yes, makes total sense when you got a whole AI system and it's like, we probably shouldn't have recording or transmitting stuff on them. The entire situation triggers Michiru's old memory of when her Giftia dad was gunned down right before her eyes. Apparently, when Giftia become Wanderers, their limiters shut down and gain the strength to lift an entire car like it's nothing. Like, I wish I was joking. but it's just like they gain like it's like superpowers almost. Yasutaka says to capture a Wanderer, they either have to disable the limiters on their Giftia or shoot them with a software destruction gun to end the Wanderer. Kazuki is going to stay with our security to get more info out of them, and promises they'll take Marcia into custody themselves. She quickly asks Tsukasa if Isla is up for the task at hand, worried that today might be a repeat of what happened 3 years ago. Man, Michiru is not happy to be working with our security, since they're the reason Kazuki's leg is, like, had to be removed and replaced with a prosthetic. All extending from the day Michiru's with Michiru's gifted dad. And that day, Michiru ran away with her gifted dad, so this is in the past. To a church where he turned into a Wanderer and attacked the security team after him, able to smack them around like dolls. It's just some people flying everywhere. Kazuki managed to save Michiru from Dad's Wanderer rage at the sacrifice of her leg getting stomped on. It's like, oh! Michiru understands she's the one to mostly blame, but if our security had not shown up, things would have gone differently. No, they would not. If anything, it probably could have gone worse for you, Michiru. Tsukasa is determined more than ever to find Marcia for Celta's stake, and knows that Kazuki doesn't want the same situation to happen again. Somehow, Celta has managed to sneak into that dangerous area, like the secured area, making the delicate situation 10 times more dangerous, especially since the time has struck 1 p.m., which was Marcia's deadline? Lifeline ending? Busting into a room thanks to Sherry's strength, Yasutaka and Sherry find the Black Market Retriever knocked out, most likely due to Marcia's Wanderer rage. With Marcia potentially in Wanderer mode, Alice says it's her job to deal with Marcia, running to look for her. After, literally running into her, Isla pulls out her weapon ready to fight. At the same time, Soto shows up into the intense standoff. It's like, oh buddy, you turned up at the wrong time. Someone's about to get hurt. The situation becomes a rescue mission as Marcia finally snaps into Wanderer mode, showing incredible speed, knocking Isla back and snatching Soto away to the roof. Kazuki is naturally annoyed about Isla getting injured on the job, even though it's not. She snaps at Tsukasa for pushing her too hard. But of all times, this is definitely not Tsukasa's fault. But despite her injury, Isla's like, yeah, I'm good to go. Let's get this job done. Tsukasa carries Isla to continue her job, taking the chance to ask what she meant by, is this really for Sota's good? Her answer is that the more positive a memory is, the more painful it can become when it comes retrieval time. Our security has received the order to eliminate the Wanderer, angering Kazuki, and she begs Shinonome to hold the scene back for a bit longer, using her leg injury as an excuse. He's like, come on, you don't do that. Since Isla is unable to stand on her own 2 feet, Tsukasa steps up with his software destruction gun in hand, wants to save both Sota and Marcia. Marcia almost puts her hand in Tsukasa, in Tsukasa's, like, I think, chest. Or, like, she nearly holds his hand, that's right. Until the sound of Sosa's voice triggers her into lifting him in the air. And, like, basically throwing him across the roof. Forced to do the unthinkable to save Sota from the situation. Tsukasa fires at Marcia the same moment Isla is able to run into the situation. And it's... when this was first coming up, everyone's probably like, did Isla just get killed? Like, get decommissioned on accident? But no, we're going into episode 6 now. And we're going a bit back in time to when Isla was partnered with Kazuki, and she was happier until the day of the incident when Kazuki left her behind to chase down Michiru's giftier dad, because, like, Isla was not the best at her job. Kazuki ended up having to get her leg amputated, deemed unsavable from it being stomped on, like, no surprise, really. And leaving her with a life of a prosthetic leg. Presently, Isla is in recovery/maintenance for the leg injury she took from Marcia's attack. Our security did manage to round up the entire black market organization as a product of the Marcia incident, so net positive? Tsukasa recalls having to shoot Marcia, which almost hit Isla as well, and Isla fainted shortly after. With Isla in maintenance, Tsukasa is restrained to desk duty and visits Isla in her maintenance room when off work. When he finally wakes up, he tells Isla she was this... oh, like, when she finally wakes up from... what would that even be? It would be a coma, or, like, from powering down. He tells Isla she was asleep for 2 days, and how the maintenance man was annoyed by him being around. It's like... imagine being that annoying of just being present. She questions Tsukasa how he's doing, but is left wondering how he can keep smiling considering what he had to do. And it's like, he's trying to keep a positive face in negative times. A lot of people do that. With Isla finally able to go back to work, Eru says she still needs to come back for more maintenance after work, and Yamanobe falls back into his tea-asking habits. It's like... Tsukasa tries to say hello to Isla, only to get cut off by Tsukasa's desire to get Tsukasa laid, and he hits on Isla right in front of Tsukasa. I cannot believe that is a sentence I just had to read, that I wrote myself. All that distraction causes Isla to overpour the tea and actually ruin some documents. It's like... oof. You never want to distract anyone from work, because this is how you ruin documents. Eventually sitting at a desk, Tsukasa gets to greet her, and Isla responds with a smile looks good on him, surprising Tsukasa and Michiru. After work, Michiru and Eru think Tsukasa did something inappropriate to Isla, because that's always the case. But it's just that she can't help get him off her mind. To Eru's joy, and Michiru's confusion. It's like, Michiru's like, why? And Eru's like... Eru is eager to help Isla get with Tsukasa by putting him under 24/7 surveillance to learn his lifestyle. So it's stalking. Basically stalking. The surveillance starts with Eru learning Isla gave Tsukasa her diary because it was the fastest way to learn the terminal service rules. Aru's spying is cut short by Sherry taking out the binoculars with deadly accuracy. It's like, like a pen, and throwing it right into the binoculars. It's like, nearly killed Aru. Wow. But Sherry's just like thinking, it's the remnants of the black market retrieval service potentially plotting a terrorist attack. Sentences I read. Aru continues spying on Tsukasa in disguises of waitresses, detectives, bar workers, like barmaids, and even checking out his package in plain view of him. It's like, what? In the end, it's like, you're not really being secretive. You just Yasutaka meets up with the head boss, Shinya Godo, to discuss the Marcia case and his usual stuff of hitting on the female bartender. Meanwhile, Isla's checkups are finished with no major issues left, and she can get back out into the field, but she says she's just getting in the way. Isla returns to her dorm, hoping to find Tsukasa there, but he's nowhere to be found, not even returning to the dorm. She decides to head to the office to find Tsukasa, but overhears Kazuki sharing how long she has left, which is 1,000 hours, or around about 6 weeks. Despite this extremely depressing info, not just depressing, Tsukasa decides to stay with Isla's partner until the end, until her final day. When Tsukasa gets back to the dorm, they welcome each other home, and the episode ends with Tsukasa getting blown away by the cliche of, "Do you want dinner, a bath, or me?" Which Isla read about in Tsukasa's book. Okay, Isla. Nice work. Isla. It's so funny and stupid in one. With what Tsukasa knows about Isla's remaining 1,000 hours, he plans to ask her out on a date. He's surprised to see that Isla has done the laundry, saying she's into doing it now, including his underwear, which he's embarrassed by. It's like, dude, it's underwear. It'd be more embarrassing if, well, she's already seen particular things already, so you've already passed that point. After failing to ask Isla out on a date, Tsukasa tells all his male co-workers about his plan to ask her on a date, who tell him not to rush into it. Yasutaka asks Constance to give Tsukasa advice on how to ask Isla out, basically saying to just be a honest and forthright person. Trying again to ask Isla out on a date, his attempt is accidentally shut down by Isla cleaning his desk and accidentally throwing away important papers. It's like, Isla is an amazing klutz on accident. And in the field, Isla somehow gets lost, all because she didn't turn on the navigation system, stopping Tsukasa's attempt to ask her out again. Reporting his failures with the boys, Yasutaka pushes him back into the field, wanting Tsukasa to ask Isla out. It's like, it is interesting just watching the dynamics in this office just go from like serious to right back into the romance. At the end of the workday, Isla explains her weird behavior, how she wants to be useful. Tsukasa finally gets out that he wants to go on a date with her, having to explain it's personal time, not work, And the answer is actually yes, which surprises even him. Out of nowhere, Kazuki drags Tsukasa away from Isla, only to tell him not to slack off at work. In the time before their next day off, both Tsukasa and Isla dig deep into their work, with Isla's body diagnostics still on that slow decline because, well, she's got less than 1,000 hours left. If I knew the dates on this, I could give you a timeline of this show, but no documents have given a good, accurate date for me, annoyingly. Anyway, Mitsuru is surprised by how hard Tsukasa is working and worries that he's not eating enough for lunch before doing his rounds. Sak teases Mitsuru by saying she should make him lunch and spills the beans on the date Tsukasa has with Isla, absolutely stunning her. That night, Isla, Mitsuru, and Eru meet up to discuss details about the date. But Tsukasa wants Isla to choose the date location. Isla doesn't know what to pick, and Eru offers up the ideas of a movie or the aquarium, which Sak calls out as very safe options for her to make. Michiru mentions the beach as an idea, intriguing Eru, and Sak calls out that beaches are not officially open, which makes it a great idea, because you won't have people around to annoy you. Annoyed with Eru putting things in Isla's mind, Michiru says Isla doesn't have to do only what they tell her, seeing if there really is a place she wants to go to. Isla thinks of the amusement park, until Michiru interrupts to ask if she has any other clothes other than her work uniform. She does have the outfit that got ripped during the shopping trip, and Michiru offers to stitch up the rip. It's like, Michiru is, like, she is an interesting character of, like, very helpful, but also very against, which is weird. Ultimately, Isla lands on the amusement park for the date location to make up for the other day, and she can't think of anywhere else. That night, Tsukasa finally reaches the end of Isla's diary, the last entry being on November 21st, Saturday, which seems to be the last day of her partnership with Kazuki. The next day, Tsukasa is surprised to see Isla wearing the outfit they bought the other day, liking how it looks on her. I do want to go back and mention the November 21st detail. I was able to figure out a potential year thanks to my to a friend that knows a lot more about Japan than I do. And we were actually able to narrow down based off the usage of AO number that we got November 21st, 2111 as the year, which would be 3 years ago, so our current story would be set in like 2114. I don't know exact months or anything like that, but that's the best I have in terms of a timeline figured out. Anyways, getting back to our story. At the amusement park, Isla leads the way, heading directly to the park bench where Isla and Kazuki stop being partners, sitting and enjoying looking at the smiles on other people. Ever since that day of the end of her old partnership, Isla stopped coming to sit at the bench, along with all the feelings she left sitting there. Tsukasa asks if Isla has done anything else at the amusement park, offering to go on everything after she says she hasn't done anything else there. Ending the date by riding the Ferris wheel, Isla derives enjoyment from seeing her own dorm room from the park. And then out of nowhere, Sakasa suddenly claps right to Isla's chest. From the fever they developed that morning, it's like, oh no. Isla manages to get him back to the dorm and into bed, and Mitsuru finds out, planning to bring him rice pudding for him to get better, only backing out at the last second because Isla's there. It's like, oh, his girlfriend's there. Don't want to get in the way. Sakasa talks about how he always collapses when something important happens, like when he got appendicitis, but got to join the Eternal Service and meet Isla. When he looks at it like that, he sees breaking down as not bad as it seems every time. Isla finally decides to tell Sakasa about her remaining lifespan herself, saying there's only about a month left. Sakasa wants to go on another date with Isla soon, which she silently agrees to by holding his hand. In the morning, Sakasa is feeling way better, but it's terrified to see Isla pass out from low batteries. Gotta get into the charger chair. Anyways, we're getting into episode number 8, and we got another retrieval job going on. And Isla hangs out with Giftia Mirabelle, while Sakasa gets her owner to sign the agreement form and mentions the 3 options of the replacement discount: a 30% off price for trade-in, or a new OS. And her owner chooses the new OS, fully aware that Mirabelle would have a completely new personality with no memories since she's done it before. Oh, that's awesome. Sakasa asks everyone at the office if the Giftia with a new OS could ever regain their old memories, leaving Mitsuru to explain that the Giftia is replaced completely, not just the OS. His mind is still focused on Isla when Kazuki interrupts his thoughts to mention that a marksman from Terminal Service 3 is coming tomorrow. One of her retrieval targets is believed to be hiding out in their region, so it's Isla and Sakasa's job to help her out. Isla asks Sakasa to leave it to her until she sees marksman Andy. It seems to have cleavage envy, much like Kaede from Assassination Classroom. As the 3 are leaving the office, Eri sees Andy and calls her Olivia, running to her and literally just I'm trying to think of words that can put it politely enough. Playing with objects she shouldn't play with, and receives a slap to the face for such a naughty action. Era even openly admits to naughty actions against Andy/Olivia, and which left me question, which just opens up the question: how does she still have a job for doing this sort of thing? Andy is left wondering if everyone at Terminal Service 1 is weird, and all Sakasa can do is laugh while Eri realizes Olivia's memories are gone. That night, the 3 are chasing down the Giftia owner couple, with Andy cleverly splitting off to cut them off, which is made easier when the couple see Isla fall over and relax. The female owner just wants to be left alone with Giftia Derek, but if he has to go, she wants to stay with him until the last second. Andy can't allow her to stay with Derek due to the fact that they ran off the first time, so what would stop him from doing it again? On the way back from the retrieval job, Sakasa asks if Andy really had to force them like that, because it could possibly result in ire from the owner, but she's used to it. Sakasa explains how Terminal Service 1 is the only branch to deal with the owners of of the emotions of owners and gifters as of 3 years ago by Kazuki's order. Ayla also wants to be part of the discussion of cases when Tsukasa wants to talk about them. In the morning, Eru talks to Andy, still unable to get over the fact that Olivia no longer exists, and that Andy is the same body with a new OS. When Tsukasa and Ayla join her at the table, Eru states that Andy now likes her and shows an old picture of her and Olivia when asked how she knows Andy. Olivia was recycled into Andy as a way for terminal services to cut costs, and Eru never thought she'd see Olivia/Andy again, even if it's just to be able to do naughty things again. Tsukasa is left thinking about how Eru is not bothered by Olivia now being Andy, and if it's just a normal thing that just happens in this line of work. The chief of Terminal Service 3 has sent sweets to Terminal Service 1 as thanks for the help finding the hiding owner and gifter, and Yamanobe notes how efficient she was. Eru charges into the office suddenly, asking for Tsukasa's help by having him come along to the carnival due to the entangled memories she has with Olivia, or Andy, or I guess Andy. Meanwhile, Mitsuru is wondering what Eru and Tsukasa are being so secretive about that Ayla doesn't know, and Zack teases her about being bothered by it. Ayla is even bothered by this secrecy going on between these two basically random people. Tsukasa wonders if Eru thinks some of Olivia's memories could resurface by going to the carnival, but Eru redirects the question to be about Ayla. Ayla decides she wants to go to the carnival too, even though Andy and Eru are going to be there, which terrifies her. It's like Ayla's terrified of them being there. Tsukasa mentions there will be fireworks at the end of the night, and Ayla states she's never seen fireworks in person before, which is impressive considering she's been living for 9 years and 3 months. That night, all four go to the carnival and take part in different activities and foods. All while Ayla is surprised by a giant fish mascot and is jealous of Andy because of her chest. Ayla is angry with Tsukasa for hanging out with Andy over her, but their focus is taken to the jellyfish juice. Yes, jellyfish juice. Andy drinks her glass of jellyfish juice, liking the taste, which seems to be the opposite of Olivia when she tried the juice. Andy runs off to another part of the carnival with Eru following, and Tsukasa tries to hold Ayla's hand so she doesn't get lost, but she turns it down before getting annoyed by him being distracted by Andy. Reaching out for Tsukasa's hand, she walks into another mascot and gets lost. Andy takes a shot at the shooting gallery when Tsukasa and Eru talk about Andy's memories not returning, and Eru decides that next year she'll take Andy somewhere else. Eru is ready to move on from Olivia to Andy, but Tsukasa asks if she really has to let go. As the night sort of comes to an end, the fireworks start going off, but with Ayla lost, Tsukasa runs off to find her so she doesn't miss the fireworks. After running across the entire festival, like every bit of it, he finally finds her alone on a bench, covering her ears from the fireworks. The sound of the fireworks scares her into holding his hand, and the two watch the fireworks together when Ayla reveals she knew about the attempt to bring Olivia's memories back to Andy. Ayla tries to end the partnership with Tsukasa to save his emotions, but he wants to stay with her because he loves her. All the while, Eru and Andy watch on and see Ayla turn down. It's like, oh, that's not good. Something bad's gonna happen now. and we'll see the bad stuff right now in episode 9. Because Tsukasa has been drained of color at work since the rejection he got from Isla, and everyone knows why, because of Eru, the blabbermouth of the company. Tsukasa walks over. Yasutaka walks over to Tsukasa to comfort Tsukasa's face into a. to contort Tsukasa's face into a smile and mess with his hair. All with little reaction from Isla. He then tries to get a reaction from Tsukasa by showing him magazine nudes of women to no avail. Like, probably some sort of reaction, but no obvious reaction. Michiru then charges in to get angry at Tsukasa, only to be stopped by Ren and Yamanobe and sees the situation. She takes Isla outside to talk to her about the confession and rejection. And Isla breaks down, upset by what she said. Isla explains what happened when Tsukasa confessed, and she just blurted out, "I can't," in the moment. Michiru acts happy that Tsukasa has been taken down a peg until she learns the exact situation, and Zack is right there to call her out for thinking it's romantic. Isla asks Michiru what she would do to cheer up Tsukasa, but Zack butts in to say no one has confessed their love to her. Ooh, what a roast. Michiru offers the idea of Tsukasa and Isla living separately for a few days to let them both cool down. Meanwhile, Kazuki and Constance are out on the job, and Constance reveals that Tsukasa confessed to Isla, surprising her multiple times with everything that happens. Like, wait, what? Then what happened? Wait, what? Michiru lets Tsukasa stay in her and Zack's dorm, with Michiru being super strict about what Tsukasa does, while saying, and Zack immediately saying where Michiru's underwear is. Why do we need that information? She's going to be staying with Isla along with Eru to make sure she's okay, leaving Zack with Tsukasa. Before leaving, Michiru prepares dinner for the three of them, which finally breaks Tsukasa out of his stupor. Meanwhile, over in Eru's room, Eru has Isla dressed up in a bunny costume and buys a bunch of dinner for her to eat. Michiru cleans up the dishes back in the other dorm. Michiru cleans up the dishes and tells Tsukasa off for slacking off at work over what happened with Isla, all while Tsukasa can just silently agree with her. She shares the story of her life after losing a gifted dad, and how Kazuki visited her often. Saying Kazuki doesn't need to come around anymore, Kazuki responds that she can be Michiru's sounding board, which made her want to join the terminal service. Michiru asks if Tsukasa regrets confessing his feelings to Isla, and he doesn't, but she almost says that's a cool side of Tsukasa. It's like she catches herself before she says it, or like she's like mid-sentence and then catches herself. Things at Eru's room get weirder because Eru is now wearing a bunny girl outfit herself, wanting to have a pajama party. Michiru ended up falling asleep in her own apartment in front of Tsukasa, embarrassed by him seeing her sleeping face. It's like, that's why you don't fall asleep in front of someone. Isla sees Tsukasa and Michiru together in the morning and gets the wrong idea about them and says they look good together, sending Tsukasa into another stupor. Tsukasa and Michiru manage to clear up the situation of the dorm room with Isla, but Isla and Tsukasa don't want to talk about what happened. Isla is first to speak up though, saying she wants to think over his confession, In this case, Tsukasa doesn't care about her choice, just wanting to be a partner until the end. While Zack is in for a checkup, Michiru asks Mikijiro about romance and if telling Isla to take her time is the right thing to do. But he can't give a proper answer. He's a mechanic, not a romance person. Isla and Tsukasa seem to be back to normal, including Isla's clumsiness with dropping the tea. Michiru has another chat with Isla, asking how she truly feels about Tsukasa, and Isla's answer is that she doesn't understand why he's still smiling. It all built off when Michiru said Tsukasa might be smiling because he's sad. She doesn't want him to be smiling for that reason. At the amusement park, Tsukasa seems to be having fun from her perspective, and had fun herself. Since then, whenever she thinks about Tsukasa, she's confused by a heart pounding in her chest. Which is weird, because she's an android, or like a giftier. Why give a giftier the sensation of that? Instead of it being the answer Michiru expected, Isla's answer is to separate from Tsukasa, which surprises Michiru. Having to explain to Isla that that feeling is love, but that further solidifies Isla's idea of needing to leave Tsukasa. Asking how Isla came to that conclusion, she explains that she only has a month left anyways. At the bar, Kazuki accuses Yasutaka for egging Tsukasa on into confessing his love. But he says it was all Tsukasa's doing. Yasutaka did nothing. But he does grill her on if she's going to butt in after dodging the question for so long, seemingly knowing about Kazuki liking Tsukasa. And Tsukasa runs into Michiru sitting outside the dorm building, crying about Isla's remaining lifespan, and learns that Tsukasa hasn't known for long. Now she feels bad about all the awful things she's been saying to both of them, apologizing for it all. When she learns he knew before confessing, she asks why he still confessed, knowing it won't last. And the answer of just wanting to make memories with Isla. She knows he won't want to let her go because it happened to her, but he's dedicated to being Isla's partner until the very end. Michiru has decided to cheer on his romance, even if she calls him a hopeless newbie in love. Heading back to Isla's dorm, Tsukasa finds Kazuki there, waiting for him and Isla to dissolve their partnership. And this is like, they're both absolutely shocked by this reality. And we're going to leave this podcast episode here so that the last 4 episodes will be starting off on another bit of drama. Anyways, as for now, for this section of the stream and for YouTube, links will be in the description to both the channels and to Twitch for you guys to go check out. Don't forget to subscribe and notification bell so next video comes out. Ding, ding, and Cycrafter out.